Hello everybody, this is GamePro24X, back again detailing this week's patch in Metal Gear Survive. Now first off, don't be confused with the version 1.06. If you guys check your consoles, you'll see that you have downloaded 1.08, so I'm going to go off of that version. And if you guys remember from Metal Gear Solid 5, the same exact thing would have happened over there as well. So I don't know what's going on at Konami, but apparently that's how they do things. Now on to the notes. So it seems that we have gotten a few skill adjustments again. The lock shot ability, which is the subclass ability of Jaeger, now aims at the head. So now you can basically roleplay as McCree from Overwatch here in Metal Gear Survive. They also boosted the Medic's healing boost ability, so now it actually heals 1% of damage every 2 seconds, and you'll fully heal from an injury in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So can be pretty handy in Salvage, but most importantly, it will be very handy in single player when you don't engage in combat and you happen to get a little bit hurt here and there. You will heal in no time with this ability. They also boosted the Medic's Cure Knuckle ability, healing from 20% to 40%. However, after a few tests, it seems that this is not true at all. I did get to try this out with my teammates, and it only seemed to heal 20% instead of 40%. And you can see here in the video yourself that he should have gotten a lot more health than just that little boost. So yes, currently right now, Cure Knuckle is not buffed. Do not let the patch notes fool you. That is not true. And to those of you who are paying attention, Konami, please fix. The Tactical Step skill is a skill in the assault tree, and if you were to hold out your weapon and press X and were moving to the side, normally you would just shift to the side, but with this ability you will actually shift right behind them. Well, this patch actually increased the moving speed of that said shift. Now moving on to salvage missions, apparently they altered the fighting patterns of the Wanderers, but to be honest, I played a few rounds of salvage myself, and I've asked a lot of my friends who were doing a lot of co-op that night. They didn't really notice anything different. So I'm not really sure what's different about the Wanderers. They still feel the same. However, if you guys have any idea what it is, or you have witnessed it yourself, do feel free to let me know. Wanderers now will do damage to you when they're falling from a wormhole, and I've actually had that happen to me. So if you happen to stand underneath a wormhole and you're trying to gank a few of the Wanderers that are just coming out and are about to land, well, if one of them actually lands on you, it'll hurt you. Now, the damage is pretty negligible, but it does kind of like shift you around a little bit. So do be careful when you're trying to do that from now on. So you know how sometimes when you go up to Wanderers, some of them are kind of sleeping? Well, they used to show up on the radar all the time. Now they won't, and they will only show up when they are actually moving. So keep your eyes open and make sure you're paying attention. Now this next one, I'm not really sure exactly what has been going on. I just know that if you try shooting at Wanderers right as they're spawning out of the wormhole, they take 0 damage whatsoever. But apparently, I guess if you can somehow kill them, you didn't get coupon energy. Well, now they fixed that. So, I mean, I don't know what the strategy is when it comes to that, but there you go. So the ammo resupply from the tactical support now only applies to 1 squad member, and it gives you guys a nice portion of ammo each time. But before it used to give only 2 members of your squad ammo, and it would give you like practically full ammo. Well, now that portion is, I believe, half now, or at least a quarter. So you do get back some ammo, but it's not like anything too big like how it used to be. Overall, I think that change is a little bit more fair because, again, it used to only apply to 2 people and you only had 1 of those tactical supports per game. So now everybody gets their ammo back and nobody is left out. Now when you go out and fight the boss, you actually do earn some more points on the side for actually damaging him. So even if you don't kill him, if you actually participated in hunting down the boss, you will walk away with a nice sizable amount of score. Placed heavy units can no longer be destroyed by tactical heavy weapons, and for those of you who don't know, the tactical heavy weapon is only available on hard if you have obtained 200k coupon energy and you activate it. You actually summon Metal Gear Ray, and he'll just be there for a few seconds shooting his water cutter. And before, it used to just completely destroy everything that you guys would place down. So honestly, it was kind of seen as like a troll thing or a last minute resort kind of thing. But now you can actually place it down with no problems. However, do mind you, he will actually destroy the walker gear, little bastard. So be careful when you see him on the field and you're in a walker gear. There has been one change to base camp defense, and they fixed the bug where the wave information wouldn't be displaying correctly. And I have a feeling this was applying to wave 5, maybe wave 6, because after reading the subreddit for a while after the new base digs were available, people were reporting that they would fail even though they were like 2 to 3 times stronger than what the enemies were predicted to be. So I think now this issue has been resolved, so now it'll actually tell you what you're really up against when you're preparing for the next wave. And to the final section of the patch notes, it looks like they fixed the bug where the game would freeze on the loading screen. So if you're trying to transport to Africa or to Afghanistan, or if you're going to save the game or even go to the co-op staging area, sometimes the game will just freeze. So hopefully, I think this may have fixed it. I don't know if people are still getting those issues. I know I had a lot of those issues and they would royally piss me off every time. But hopefully this is resolved. They added a new gear category called accessories/suits. So just like how we had the regular accessories for like eye patches and helmets and whatnot, now we actually have one for a full-blown suit. However, the suit will be available in the event as it's described here in the notes here, and I believe the event's going to happen next week, beginning of next week on the Tuesday update. So tune in for that one. The high-level bosses that would appear after you beat the game, now you're in post-game, they now respawn. However, there's a few things to note when you actually fight them again. So thanks to one of my teammates for testing this for me. So it seems that after 4 days of sleeping, which is 4 in-game days of sleeping, the bosses will reappear. So you go over there, kill them, sleep for 4 days, and you do it again. Frostbite is now at level 69 and Big Mouth is now at level 60. Before, they used to be like 10 levels below. So now they're a lot stronger, which should make sense for a lot of you since most of us have been playing for a while. He also noted that Frostbite and Big Mouth actually change maps when they respawn. So they'll either be in Africa or they'll either be in Afghanistan. And another interesting thing that he found out is that they actually show up in the areas where you actually participate in salvage missions. So for example, the Fallen Village salvage mission, that's actually a village you can go visit in Afghanistan in single player mode. And the bosses will reappear there. And of course, once you've actually defeated these guys again, every time you beat them, you get some rewards out of them. And from what my friend has noted, he has stated that he has gotten 1 purple case, 2 blue cases, and 3 green cases. And the purple case can be anything. It could be a weapon, a gear item, or I'm not really sure if it could be materials, but I think it's like a mix of anything. So yeah, that's something that you guys could do if you wanted to just grind in single player. So once again, shout out to that friend who was kind enough to share this information with me. That way I can share it onto you guys. Moving on, legendary weapons and gear will now randomly drop in the mission Container Has Washed Up. Now, I've done like maybe 8, I think close to 10 of these, and I have yet to actually see them drop any legendary cases whatsoever. So I mean, at least for me in my example, I don't see them as anything productive to do. Now, if you're a lot more luckier than me, then hey, go for it. But from my experience, I'm going to have to pass on that. So now it looks like they're actually adding stuff to the exploration team. Before, even if you had a B or higher, there wouldn't be anything different. Like nothing would change whatsoever. Well, now we actually have B rank missions. And according to this, they are temporary. As in, today you have these set of missions and you can pick whichever ones you want to do. Or if you want to pass on that, you can probably wait the next day or so and you can get a different list of missions. And they all have their own amounts of rewards along with their own requirements if you want to be successful in all of it. So there you go. There's more things to do in Exploration Team. Now, at the moment, I still don't really see Exploration Team as something to be used in-game that much, but, you know, we'll see. Also, another very important thing about that is, I don't know how it is in Africa, but in Afghanistan, it actually takes 1 whole day for those units to come right back. So, you know, again, it's really up to you. If you really don't see yourself grinding for certain materials, then go for it. So this was a patch that I was kind of expecting. So now that little run glitch or the bread stepping technique that people would do in the rescue missions, well, that no longer works anymore. So we can no longer speedrun and rely on rescue missions for a lot of sensor units and such. So yes, rest in peace to that great ability. But you know, there's something you do need to give Konami some credit for. They could have legitimately did this before, like I would say the week before the event was over, but they didn't. So I don't know, as much as people want to give them shit, at least they didn't patch something out when it really mattered, because I can tell you firsthand that trick really did help me get a lot of battle points and get my grinding done, because without it, it would take a very long time to do. So I don't know, it's up to you guys if you want to thank Konami or not, but that's just, there it is. They apparently changed a bug with the spoiled food pertaining to the healing value and the weight. I am not really sure what that's all about, but that has been fixed. So now when you actually have orders every day and you want to check on them mid-mission, all you do is pull up your map and you hit triangle. You might want to make sure you're not hovering over anything, because sometimes you'll just hit triangle and it'll pull up someone's menu or something. But make sure you're not selecting anyone. Hit triangle and it'll actually tell you what your progress is on some of your not accomplishments, on some of your orders. It looks like they fixed another bug. I am not really sure what this place a guide marker bug was, but they fixed it now, so that's great. So they also added the option to modify the controller's sensitivity. Now I could be incorrect, so feel free to correct me in the comments, but I believe the controller sensitivity is right here, and all that really does is it actually changes when you actually fire your gun. It doesn't actually change your controller's sensitivity whatsoever. It only changes the trigger's sensitivity, if that makes any sense. So instead of pulling the trigger all the way for you to fire your gun, you now only have to pull it halfway to fire the gun, which in turn, you actually have a faster reaction time by doing that. So if you actually turn that up, that actually might be very beneficial for some of you. This one makes me laugh because practically every time there's a new patch notes, they always mention this. Apparently they fixed the bug, again, where some locked perks can actually be used on certain weapons. And no matter how many times they tell us that, apparently there's still some weapons that can still use some perks. I don't have video footage of this, but I actually discovered a bug myself. So if you are unlocking perks on your weapons or gear, you would need to be at a certain level on your base development team, along with just materials and whatnot to unlock it. Well, get this. I am currently at a D in base development, so I couldn't really unlock any perks, period. However, I can. So I wish I had video footage of it, but why don't you guys go try it out for yourself. Just try to unlock a perk with D level development staff, and it'll actually allow you to. So there you go. So they also reduced the repair cost for melee weapons and bows, the legendary bows. And I don't know how much it was before, but I do know that now when I repair my weapons, it actually costs no less than 4 items on any single material to repair it. So that's pretty good. That means you're consuming less items to repair really good weaponry. So you know how if you level up a gear item or a weapon, it has a little star and it says 1 and star and 2. Well, that's how many times you can additionally level it up. Well, now they actually upped that limit by 5, so now you can go up to star 10 weapons as well. So if you have a really good weapon and you know it's a really good weapon from the roll, because every single weapon has its own different stats and every single perk. So unless you know for sure you have the best of the best weapon roll you could have possibly had for that particular weapon, then go ahead and level it up. It will become very beastly. So as I was recording, I actually skipped 2 things that they added that are very, very important. So now if you go into your orders list, it's always going to be the one that you have to get an A, and it's a daily order. You get an A or higher in salvage missions, you can now earn a field manual, along with the 2 weekly gain an A or an S in salvage missions. Those 3 orders alone, you can now earn field manuals from that. And of course you can earn one every single day from completing that same order over and over again. So that's really good, and I really like that. And on top of that, they also increased the limit of how many field manuals you can give to your staff. Now before it used to be plus 20. You can only give them 20 and then that's it. I have yet to see what the max is, but people are speculating it's just going to be plus 40. So If you have a lot of staff, like the unique staff that required a lot of manuals to go up to the next tier, well, now you can give them even more and make them even better. So there you go. Thank you, Konami, for allowing us to put more manuals on our team, and thank you for also giving us more opportunities to earn more manuals. So that about covers it for this week's update notes for Metal Gear Survive. I know the video is a little bit long, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you really appreciate a lot of the effort and a lot of the explanations that I put in terms of breaking down all the new things that they've added and how much better or worse they are compared to how they used to be. So to those of you who watched all the way to the end, cheers to you. If you guys are interested in donating to my Patreon, the link is always there. You don't have to, but any little bit is greatly appreciated. You can also join my Discord server. Doesn't matter if you play Survive or not, people are very friendly about it. So you can come in, chat, talk about Metal Gear or anything else in general, and you'll have a pretty good crowd. I do stream Survive whenever I can on the week, during the week or on the weekends. So if you play Survive on PS4, you can always send me a message, and whenever I'm actually streaming online, you guys can just hop in and we can just enjoy some co-op sessions together. So look forward to that. So I hope you guys found this video very informative and letting you guys know what's going on in Metal Gear Survive. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos of Metal Gear Survive. So, thank you guys for watching. It's GamePro24X, and I will see you guys later.